Today's art class is all about owls. We're going to be learning a few owl facts, drawing owls using simple lines and shapes, and filling it with details and patterns. In class, we'll be using black paper and bright construction paper crayons, but you can use your white paper today. And I'm going to take you through how to draw step by step using whatever materials you have at home. First, let's talk a little bit about owls. What do you already know about owls? Owls are birds of prey, which means they hunt, kill, and eat small animals. Owls are creature of the night, which means they sleep all day and hunt until dawn. There are over 200 different types of owls. Some of the owls you might find in New York are the eastern screech owl, the boreal owl, the long-eared owl, and the northern saw-whet owl. All owls, big or small, have big rounded heads, hooked beaks, and eyes that go straight forward. They can't move their eyes side to side at all. So they have to turn their whole head. Can you turn your whole head? Yeah. The so-called ears that stick up on some of their heads aren't really their ears. Their ears are on the sides of their eyes in a little flap. Isn't that crazy? Not only do owls have great night vision, they also have a keen sense of hearing. They can hear a mouse a mile deep in the snow. Owls have white and almost round eggs. Owls lay from 2 to 7 eggs. The baby owls are called owlets. They're really fluffy looking and cute. Owls eat more rodents than anything else. Sometimes they can't digest all the bones and they cough it up in a little pellet. When you guys are in 5th grade, you might get a chance to dissect an owl pellet. So let's start drawing. For this project, you need a piece of white paper. I'm going to show you how to draw 2 different kinds of owls, a snowy owl for my Harry Potter fans, if you're a Hedwig fan, and the eastern screech owl, which lives around here. Pick one of these, or you can go to Google Images, type in owl, and try to find a picture that shows the full body of an owl that you think looks really cool. Try to find a picture that shows most of an owl's body. Then you can click on it and draw what you see. We are going to start by sketching. Have you ever drawn on your paper really hard and then when you try to erase it, it just doesn't go away?
No, it won't go away.
That's because you're pushing just way too hard. I want you to draw so lightly, like your pencil is just grazing the paper. The saying is, draw light until you know it's right. Then you can draw darker and trace it with marker. Sketching is the coolest. Sketching. I'm so sorry. Okay, if your choice is a snowy owl, start with a half circle for the head. And again, you're drawing really lightly. Next, the body. It's almost like an oval, but it's pointy on one side like a football. And try to draw it so that it's kind of tilted back, like I am right here. If you want to draw a screech owl, I would start with this curvy line. That's going to cover the top of its head and the little feathery tufts, which we learned aren't ears, they're just feathers. Next, a U shape for the head. And here, I'm glad I'm sketching because I kind of made it uneven, and I can go back and erase it and fix it up. Now, my screech owl is going to be a little more cartoony, but feel free to draw in your own style. Back to my snowy owl. My next job is to draw the eyes. The eyes, remember, are very large and round to let in as much light as possible so the owl can hunt at night. For the beak, it's almost a diamond shape, so I'm drawing an upside down V on the top and a regular V on the bottom. That's how I'm making my diamond. For my screech owl, it's very similar. I'm making slightly larger circles because that's what I can see in my picture, and I'm going to add this V shape on the top of my head. I am so sorry for the shaky camera, by the way. The art room tables are really wiggly. So let's add that beak, and we're ready for the next step. Another set of circles in the eyes. Now let's add a body for this little screech owl. This fella in the picture seems pretty round and fluffy. The wing comes next. I'm going to make a curvy line that matches the belly, and I'm actually going to make the belly just a little bit chubbier on my snowy owl. The next step, you can decide if you want your screech owl wings to be down or out, like it's flying. And I choose to have them down. I'm going to make my legs next. On a snowy owl, I will draw a letter L and then add some bumps to make claws. On a screech owl, we're going to have this guy sitting on a branch. So I'm making 3 little ovals, adding some claws, and they're going to be hooked onto a branch. So 2 lines. Branches aren't even. Now my snowy owl in this picture is sitting on Harry Potter's arm. You can put him on your arm if you want to, or you can make it a tree branch. Again, tree branches are not perfect. I'm going to add tail feathers on my screechy and some on my snowy owl, although I didn't really leave myself much room. Now remember that saying from before? Draw light until you know it's right, then go darker or trace with marker. That's what we're going to do. So your job is to trace your owl with whatever tools you have on hand. I'm going to trace this little screech guy with a crayon, and I'm going to trace this snowy owl with a colored pencil. And notice as I trace it, I'm also looking at this picture and adding details. Now you can add a background. I'm layering my crayon and then adding some watercolor on top. You can also just shade it using whatever tools you've got at home, or you could try that marker and water technique where you draw a little with marker, add water on top, and it looks like paint. Use just a little at a time because that marker really spreads out once you add water on top of it. I hope you had fun drawing an owl. Drawing an owl is fun to do, yeah!